Good morning, everyone. Teresa with Hick-A-Billy LLC with a garden update. It is August 1st, and I finally got my chicken protectors all put up on my planter pots. So that's exciting. And then let me show you the rest of the garden. My pots with plants in them. This is a special one to me. I've been worried about my chickens getting in here, so I'm glad to have gotten this protected. My grape plant. It actually didn't start growing branches, or vines, sorry, not branches, vines, until mid-July. And this is what, oops, sorry about my finger. This is what we have, the growth in the last 2 weeks. It's growing pretty nicely. I again hope we have enough time in the season to have something come out of it. I was worried that for sure when I transplanted this outside that it was going to die on me, and this trunk branch right here that it grew in the winter, it grew that when I brought it in the house, and it did give me a little tiny cluster of grapes, and it has all these leaf buds on there on the edges. I'm caught on my chicken protectors. So it has all these little leaf bud things on there that I thought was going to be where it was going to start growing, and it didn't do anything. It grew new ones down there at the base, but this is what we have. That's exciting. That means this, I almost was going to cut this vine off. I'm glad I didn't, because all of a sudden one of these started to grow. So it's still alive and it's doing well, and I hope I can get something out of it before winter sets in. This is my best performer so far that I have here in the garden. This is a sun gold tomato, and I have been able to pick tomatoes off of it. On the bottom one, they're very slow, so you can see some orange there, and I was like, I would be able to pick 1 or 2 tomatoes off of it like a week. So it's very slow at turning anyway, but it's the fastest growing compared to all my other tomatoes that I have. Got them along the wall here, and it's got a bunch of nice new berry clusters. So like this one here, this one, I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen my tomatoes get like this, where it has these very long, like 15, what is that, 15, almost 15 inches of a berry cluster, and I'm very surprised and excited. So I can't wait for all of these to grow. I think this will be able to produce enough, for the rest of the season. Even if we do have an early winter, I'll at least have some fruit to harvest off of it. And then this one over here is my indigo. And I bought these at a decent size when I bought them. But the reason why I'm missing all of these, I watched another person's video where the leaves kind of look like mine, and he said that they were diseased, and he pulled them all off. And since I had new growth at the top, I pulled all mine off because this would not grow. It stayed this height for quite some time, several weeks, almost a month. And these berries formed, but then they split on the bottom. Let's try and see, they split. All of them did. And then, like I said, it wouldn't grow. And so they're just now starting to turn red, so I don't know. But all of this newer growth above all that stuff I tore off that he said was a disease, all looks good, is looking better, and it's growing quickly, much better than it has been doing in the past. So I'm sure it's affected by our weather. And I should maybe get something out of maybe at least one cluster to eat off of it, hopefully, before our winter sets in. These littler plants along the wall, whoop, not that, that's a bean. There and there's 3 of these. They were the slips that were growing on my indigo here. And see, they all have healthy leaves, and that's what made me decide that those other leaves on this plant, the parent plant, were diseased, so I pulled them off. But these all look very good, normal looking leaves, not crinkly and plasticky looking. And so I think what I'll do is I'll just, I'm going to do an indoor garden. I'm going to get working on it. I'm going to start that now. I'm going to try and make some more room in the house because we have so much crap that I'm going to try and make a spot. I'm going to empty out a closet, I think, and turn that into a little grow area. So I'm going to transplant some of these tomatoes indoors and have a winter garden. So I will be showing you all of that when I get that together. This is my Tontandine kale. Very slow growing, taken forever. But it's, this weather here has changed this past week. We've got really hot temperatures, which has been causing some damage to my plants, but I have been covering the greenhouse with a blanket that allows some light in, not the whole thing, just mainly the south side, to help with the intensity of the sun. So they still get sunlight, but in the at the most intense part of the day, they get a little bit of shade, and filtered sunlight. So I might have overwatered this, so it started turning a light color green, rather than a nice darker green. And because I was trying to counter the extreme heat during the day, we were actually getting just slightly over 100 degrees here. And I never expected that kind of temperature here in Montana, but apparently we do get it. We have extreme that, and then our cool evenings, they go down to 50 to 40, high 40s is what we're getting at night. And so it's like extreme temperature swings, and I'm just not sure it's doing well with my plants. The rhubarb are have been doing very good. I'm going to move this out of my greenhouse because it's going to do better. I mean, it's already doing better. This is my better one out of all 3 of my rhubarbs. But I'm going to transplant this out into an area. I'm going to make a rhubarb garden area so I could have a bunch of that for next year. And this is my strawberry plant. 1 strawberry plant in here. And we did get some strawberries off of it, like 4, and now it's got more strawberries coming in. That's very exciting. I love that. And here's another flower coming out. So these are ever-bearing strawberries, and same. Oh, my dogs. Same as the ones over in my pots. I have some strawberries there that the chickens ate all the leaves off of, and then they started growing back. I've got 2 potentially dying on me, and there's 1 that was successful and had a runner, and the runner is doing well. So my strawberries keep getting a setback. And these are Tidy Treat tomatoes. These are volunteer tomatoes that came up from some of the tomato seeds I left in the garden when I first started redoing this, and or getting it ready in the spring for my gardening. And I left some whole dried cherry tomatoes on there, the Tidy Treats, and they just came up with tons of new tomato starts everywhere. So I didn't get them all transplanted, and some of them died off in the heat, and then others I have sitting on my table in the kitchen. There's at least 20 of them in there, and they need to get into pots or something. So anyway, more transplanted huckleberries that I had taken when I went out huckleberry hunting, and hoping they will take. I've got quite a few of them scattered throughout different areas. Another cabbage. And last night I did have a cabbage worm on there. I fed that to the chickens, and so it was on there for a while because it sure as heck did a number on this one. And the last video I had of my garden was when the chickens came in and they tore up all my Walla Walla onions and killed one of my cucumber plants that was over there. And my other cucumber plant was large enough that it is doing okay, but this heat, the other day I come in and wasn't tying this up because all of the little fingers that they have to grab onto stuff was holding on quite well. And when I came in that evening to check it, this plant had literally let go of the wall and was bent over in half, laying on the ground. And I was just so shocked. It got really hot in here. I think I even had that shelter on the shade cloth on, and it was so hot. All my plants were wilted. But my cucumber plant was doing a lot of male flowers, and I finally, where'd it go? I saw a female baby cucumber. There it is. Let me get to it, get my camera to it there. There she is, look at that. A baby cucumber. So hopefully it was pollinated. You know, unless this is the one that doesn't need pollination, I don't know. This is an heirloom Boston pickling cucumber, and I was hoping to have tons of cucumbers so I could do some pickling this year. And so this is the only one that I see that looks successful throughout this whole plant, but has tons of flowers. I mean, just tons. And of course, it's just like the rest of them. It was such slow growth. It's surprising and disappointing at the same time. I don't know what to think of it. So, but it is growing, so we're gonna let it do its thing. And I did tie this up here because like I said, it let go of the wall. I am surprised about that. It's got some dead flowers there. But one of the things I'm going to do is, I saw a video somewhere, those dogs, where I think you can do a cutting from, my animals are noisy today. But anyway, you could do a cutting from this cucumber to start more plants. And so I'm hoping that some of these slips off of the main trunk I can get more of them, because I'm not seeing very many. I have one that's going through this wall, and I'm gonna let it go through the wall and do its own thing because I don't want to bother it. And then the other one is the one that's where my baby cucumber is at, and I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my baby cucumber on that one. So I'm waiting for another one, and I'm gonna try and do a cutting because I would like to have this in my winter garden that will be growing indoors. So I'm going to try and attempt to do a cucumber plant indoors. And then another Tontondine kale. This used to be the stronger of the two, but now it is the weaker of the two. It's quite interesting, but here's you see it's a darker green leaf versus the other side where it's kind of, I think it might be overwatered over there. And then my cayenne pepper, oh my goodness, it is so tiny. It was like light yellow for like a month and a half, and it is literally that big. And I started this from seed in March. It's unbelievable how tiny it is. And then I finally, this past week, started getting these little tiny little flowers. I'm like, am I going to get miniature cayenne peppers or micro sized cayenne peppers? I don't know. It is just super, super tiny. And one of my neighbors I talked to the other day said it's possible it's due to our high alkaline water that's causing things to not grow very well. So we'll have to see. I'm going to put some different level pH water into my garden when I do my winter garden, and we'll see how well they grow. And I have a jalapeno pepper, and it's doing fine, which tells me how come this is so small and this is growing fine. It's not super big, but it's growing. It's got fruit on it. You know, I'm kind of wondering if it, you know, that if you follow along the line of science, this should be like that, but it's not. So that's growing well. My bell pepper here is growing okay. This pepper, I already picked a pepper off of there. It was small, but I couldn't wait, so I picked it off and it grew another one. And that's been sitting there like this for about a week and a half. I was hoping for more flowers, but I'm not getting any more growth yet. And this is a wee bee little pumpkin, and it has lots of flower blooms, and I get just like one flower at a time blooming, and I see no baby pumpkins, so I don't know what's going to happen here either. But it's growing well. It looks healthy. Seems to be doing okay. It's just slow growing again. It's like everything else. And my zucchini here, I put my quail in here because it got super hot for my boy quails. There's only 4 of them. And I knew they were going to do some damage, but they deadheaded my zucchini and plucked all the baby zucchinis off of it. This was doing so well, but now it's dead. So I'm going to have to start over on that one. And these are some of the slips that I had transplanted for my, what is that? My star performing sun gold tomatoes. And so these are doing well also, so I can't wait for these to start producing. There's 2 of them here. This one started getting some fruit on it there, so I'm happy with this one too. And let's go to where you see my cat in the background there. This is my outside garden over there. Let's go over there. All right, this is along the fence line of my outside garden here, and this is a tomato. It's called Supersonic, and this was a slip off of my Supersonic tomato, which is supposed to be a bigger size tomato, and I got little baby tomatoes on there, and it's growing slowly. Doesn't look super good, and I think it's because of it's where it's at. This is getting the intense heat, and it's not getting any shelter from that heat, and it's causing it to do this thing, I think, with its leaves. I don't know, because I'm not an expert on gardening, but yeah, it's looks like it's struggling, but at least it's producing fruit. These are hops, which I found out I'm allergic to, and I transplanted it, and I'm hoping that it will come back next year and we'll keep these roots alive, I hope. And this is a squash, and of course I left the tag over on the other side of the fence here. Sweet dumpling or sugar dumpling, I can't remember. You can see the leaves are burning on it from sitting on this side of the wall. I probably will move this then. So I dug it out of where I had it because, yeah, wow, look at that. cats, I think. It's my cats. There's Colty. I gave him a chop job for his hair because he had all kinds of naps in it and he was all nasty, so I shaved him down and he squirms. So try to shave him down with he don't look so good. It's a bad haircut, but he got a cut. Anyway, so the cats, I think, were pooping in it, digging and tearing everything up, and they kept knocking this over. And I was worried they were going to kill it. And the chickens, too, they get in there. So I dug it up and put it in a pot with hopes that the chickens would leave it alone. Oh my gosh, all of my plants out here are like burning up. This is my potato. This potato was looking good yesterday. But look at it now. Wow. It's terrible. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I think, do something about our sun. It's pretty intense this time of year, I think. And so we'll have to take care of that. I'll just take these pots and move them to the other side is what I'll do. And cut off all these runners that I had for the transplanted hops. I sure do hope it comes back though, because hops has medicinal uses and I really would like to be able to utilize them, even though apparently I'm allergic to it. So now I'm coming into my indoor garden area, and these are my potato bags, and this is a red potato, and it just did so well. It grew so fast. I couldn't believe how fast it was growing in the month of July. And I quit covering it and filling it with dirt because it looked like I thought it was going to flower, but it's not. And of course I'm getting burnt leaves here too. I'm surprised, but I'm getting burnt leaves here. I'm not watering in the mornings. I water at night so that the plants have time to dry off so that there's no damage of burning leaves. But I got burning leaves. Look at that. I don't understand that. Leaves are burned. That's weird. So anyway, but they're still doing well. My potato plants are doing well. This is a red potato that was bought from the store. These are white potatoes, Idaho potatoes, and they're growing slower. I started them a little bit later, like maybe I might have even started them a week later. So they're a bit behind, but they were doing well. They were growing, and I was filling them. And they kind of slowed in their growth after my last fill. So I'm kind of wondering whether I should continue trying to do the fill bags like this one, or just leave them because of the season is so short. Put some comments in below and tell me what you think about what I should do. Should I continue? Maybe if I do continue, maybe I'll bring them indoors into my indoor greenhouse or garden area. My indoor garden closet, we'll call it. And, finish them out in there, I wonder. It's not very big closet, so I got to be careful what I bring in there. And this is a transplanted buffalo berry bush that's very well shaded, so I'm not sure that I put this in the good spot. I need to probably have it. Oh, look at what I just see. Somebody came in here and laid on my plant. And I guarantee you it's one of these things. One of these butt heads. God dang it. You guys are just trouble. Look at that. They broke my branch. Dang it. Okay, so with the intense heat that we're getting, here in Montana. Maud. You know, I've shown videos of Maud. Got all her leaves back. So excited. Thought she was dead over the winter. I've sealed up her base so I didn't have to worry about her not having enough water. Oh my God, I overwatered this. I better get it taken care of. Look out. She lost all her leaves in this heat. Just as she was getting them back. Oh my God. And she was looking so good. Yeah, this is what happened. Leaves are all gone.
I'll see you later.
See ya, honey.
Huh?
Hopefully I can keep her alive. I'm bringing my citrus plants all back inside now because I don't, they're not doing well outside. So they're going to go back in the house, and hopefully Maud will grow her leaves back a second time. Poor thing. And this little gal here I did not give a name to, but she also is losing her leaves. I'm going to have to name her. She had all this new growth coming in, you know, June and July. They were happy out here, but they're not doing so good now. And she did have one lemon, and it's barely hanging on, the poor thing, dog naked. So you can see the burned leaves from our sun. And like I said, I water at night to make sure that these plants, the leaves have time to be dry before anything wormy stuff off of there, before so they don't burn their leaves. But I don't know, I think our sun is just too intense here, wherever it is we're at here, that it's whatever the latitude is, it's just too intense for these plants. So I use lemons a lot in my tea. I don't do tea without lemon and honey, and I need to have my lemon trees so that I can have lemon juice. So it's important I keep them alive. This area here, here's another vicious killer and pain in the butt. Peanut? Peanut. You're in my way. Are you laying on one of my plants? Huh? You laying on my plant? You better not be. I have peanuts over here, even though Peanut is not a plant. That's funny. That is so funny. My cat Peanut laying in the peanut bed. Get out of the way. Okay, so here's a peanut plant. Here's a couple more peanut plants. Peanut, stop. There, and there. And the chickens kept digging them up. I had them all along the outer edge here because I was going to try and grow some popcorn over here. And they just, those little vicious creatures, evil vicious creatures. This peanut plant here is a okay size, but not for what, Colty, get out of the way. Not for what we're wanting for being able to harvest before the end of the season. I wonder if I can grow them indoors and in a pot. But I do know that these branches that come out of here, they'll get big and then they fall to the ground and plant themselves for the peanuts. So I don't know how I do that in a pot. But I'm sure I could just manually put them in the pot to make sure that it makes contact with the dirt so I get a good peanut load. Work on it the next with the animals. So here's some more tomato plants that I transferred over. This is a nice shaded area, and this is these are Tidy Treats cherry tomatoes that were volunteer plants that came up on their own from last year's. Okay, let's see, what else do I, oh my God, look at that, an evil chicken. Get out, get out. Why are you in here? Get, go on, you know better. Little butt. Should have closed this door. You thought that was funny, did you? You think that's funny, Georgie? That was my rooster Georgie over there. They're surrounding that cage where my mama hen and her babies are because they get fed and I don't feed my outside chickens. Okay, so, oh my gosh, this chickens, I could just kill them, but I can't because they're so awesome. Okay, here are some more of my relocated Tidy Treats tomatoes that were, I had transplanted several of them all the way along the outer edge here. These in this corner didn't make it. Here's one struggling, and there should have been one there that died. There's this one, and nothing here. There's one. So I have a few of them along here, and apparently on this side they're doing much better on this side. That's interesting. So these are much stronger over here, doing well. These in the corner, look at that, that's a nice one there. Oh, look at this one, really good. Look at that. So this was supposed to be my herb garden. Doesn't look so good, that one. But so what I did was, since I didn't have any herb plants, very many, I wanted to fill this up. So I transplanted the tomatoes, and then I also went out in the wild and got some other plants. This is wild yarrow, and I transplanted this flower, and I'd rather this flower head in the flower bed. Let me get up to it. There it is. So it can reseed itself. Does it have seeds in there? I don't know if they're ready yet, but if it will reseed itself in the bed. And so I dug it up and transplanted. You can see it's still alive. And then here's another one here, still alive. So this is yarrow, which is an herb. It has medicinal uses. And then I put over in here, these are wild onions. And I'm hoping they will also reseed themselves. And it's a little spindly because this root stock thing is very hard. But hopefully these will come back next year. They should, because they live around here and they're used to the environment, and they should do just fine. So they're probably, let's say, I think I did this, I want to say I did this maybe a week and a half ago, transplanted these in here. So they're still in shock and getting reestablished in here. So I have a row of wild onions and a couple of them with flower heads that are going to be going to seed. So I want them to continue growing. And then here I had, this here was my oregano, and it was doing okay. And then when we started getting the really hot temperatures, up to high 90s, almost 100 degrees, up to over 100 degrees, this one, it just wasn't doing well. And this is a pretty shaded area, first part of the day. It's got shade, and I think that it's just doesn't take that heat very well. So my oregano is dead. And I think I'll have to do an herb garden indoors, unless they are native herbs from, just that are from growing out here in the wild, like these onions. And that is a parsley. My parsley is doing well. I'm surprised, and so that's doing really well back there. And the other herb that I have, which I really like, and I'm very surprised, my Thai basil. Now, I usually get a Thai basil plant every year. I try to grow it indoors. I kill it. And I put it out here this year, and it's holding strong. It's not super big. Cook that up because I wanted some. But in this heat, it seems to be very happy. Very happy with that heat. So that's, oh, and I have chives. My chives are, Colty, out of my, no! You are such a butthead. Get out. Come on. Don't roll on my plants. Get out. I already have problems with chickens, now I got dang cats. Come on. Get out. Colty. Don't you smush my plant. Get out. All right. That's it. I'm kicking your butt. I'm kicking your butt, Colty. Get out. Get out. Go on, get out. Out. Come on, Colty. Get out. Come on. Colty, get out. Get out. Go on, get out. Colty. Good boy. Okay. Just irritate them until they run away. All right. So this is my chives. That's the last herb I have. I love chives. When I was living in Colorado, I had a nice big... Did you just eat my onion? Bugsy. Get out. Don't eat my onions. Get out. She got kicked out of the house because she kept eating my plants. This one. Bugsy. Get those blue eyes. Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous blue eyes. Get out of my flower bed. I'll get her too, Colty, because it's not fair. Come on, get out. Pumpkin bunkin, get. Okay. Someday I will have big, beautiful chives that are tall with gorgeous chive flower heads on top of it. But not this year, but hopefully. So there are my chives. This is my herb garden. I finally got something in it and got it prepped, so this is my sad garden. Oh my God. Okay. Another elderberry tree that's not going to grow and produce anything. Another rhubarb. Another cat. That's Peanut. Oh my God. Too many cats. So this is another rhubarb that's definitely going to have to leave its spot because it really does not like this spot. But it does keep all the bugs over here because it's been eaten quite a bit throughout the season, and it keeps them off of the rest of my plants. So even this has got a little bit of eating, but nothing compared to that one. So having a sacrificial plant, I guess, helps keep those bugs at bay. All right, folks, that's pretty much it. That's my garden. This is my biggest elderberry that I thought was going to produce. It just isn't going to produce. Cats. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you're having a great day. Happy gardening and happy homesteading.